In this collaboration series, we're going to cover the life, history and death of one of antiquities' greatest military commanders, Hannibal Barca. I'm Quill of Inkhistory, and with me today I got these two awesome guys who will cover Hannibal's war with the Romans, as well as what happened to Hannibal after the Second Punic War. In this video, we will start off this collab with covering the intriguing history of Hannibal's early life and conquests. Stay tuned! Hannibal was born in the Mediterranean state of Carthage in 247 BC and was a special product of his time and circumstances. By the time of his birth, Carthage had been in a harsh struggle with the Roman Republic in the north, known as the First Punic War, which lasted for over 2 decades. The outcome of the war was a devastating Carthaginian defeat, with Carthage having to give up all of its possessions in Sicily to Rome, as well as having to fight a 4-year-long civil war in North Africa due to not being able to pay the mercenary soldiers they had used to fight the Romans, in a revolt known as the Mercenary War, during which Rome took the opportunity to also seize the islands of Corsica and Sardinia from Carthage. This humiliating defeat and loss of power created a great resentment among the Carthaginians. The resentment was especially strong in Hannibal's father, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal had been a general during the war, and after getting furious at the terms of the peace treaty, he swore eternal hatred towards the Roman Republic. This unconditional hatred was something Hannibal would raise his son Hannibal to adopt. According to the Roman historian Livy, Hannibal is said to even have went so far as to have made Hannibal swear an oath to the gods of eternal hostility to Rome while being a child. In order to recover its lost position of power in the western Mediterranean, Carthage turned its eyes away from the territories it had lost to Rome, and instead started to send military expeditions to the Iberian Peninsula. These conquests were led by Hannibal, who had greatly strengthened his political power in Carthaginian politics during the Civil War, and as the son of Carthage's greatest military commander, Hannibal took part in these expeditions, and upon becoming an adult, started to take leadership positions in the Carthaginian army. The wars in Iberia were very successful, and Hannibal proved himself to be a phenomenal officer as well as a diplomat. So much so that when his father Hamilcar's successor Hasdrubal was assassinated in 221 BC, the Carthaginian army in Iberia declared Hannibal to be their new commander, which was a decision that the government back in Carthage quickly ratified. As the new commander of the Carthaginian army, Hannibal continued his father's conquests and consolidation of Carthaginian power in Iberia. For 3 years, Hannibal's conquest increased the power and wealth of Carthage, which by now were almost strong enough to challenge Roman superiority and reclaim its position as a dominant power in the western Mediterranean. However, there was still more land and wealth left to conquer in Iberia. As part of the peace treaty after the First Punic War, Rome and Carthage agreed to limit the Carthaginian sphere of influence in Iberia to the south of the Ebro River. However, despite this, there existed several cities in the Carthaginian sphere of influence that had an official friendship with Rome, even if they hadn't necessarily agreed on any treaties. One such city was the city of Saguntum, which lay on the eastern shore of the peninsula and were an important key to controlling Iberia. Because of this, Hannibal decided to lay siege to the city in 219 BC. Saguntum desperately turned to Rome for help, but no help arrived. Despite this, the Saguntians did their best to hold out and ardently pushed back when Hannibal tried to storm the city's fortifications. Saguntum held out for 8 months before surrendering to the Carthaginians. The siege was a strategic victory for Hannibal, but simultaneously angered the Romans, who, while not being willing to intervene in the siege, took the fall of the city very harsh, and were, as the ancient history guy will cover in the next episode, willing to go to war over it. Thanks for watching. Check out part 2 and 3 by the Ancient History Guy and History House, and make sure to check out their cute and funny history content as well. I can promise you won't get disappointed.